We have big news out of the Federal Reserve. Recently, Fed policymakers announced they were reducing the Fed funds rate, the Fed's main interest rate, by a quarter percentage point to about 4.25%. Fed policymakers also indicated that they expect to do 2 more quarter point interest rate cuts at the 2 remaining meetings of this year and 1 more during 2026. That would mean that by this time next year, the Fed funds rate would be at about 3.5%, and that's roughly what Fed policymakers consider to be long-term normal. At the George W. Bush Institute, we are very focused on what this means for housing markets, particularly in view of the housing supply and affordability problems that afflict cities across our country. So, lower interest rates are likely to translate to lower interest rates on mortgages, which is likely to increase the demand for housing. Now, if you increase the demand for housing, but you don't have a corresponding increase in supply, it's likely to push home prices upwards. The last couple of years, in the relatively high interest rate environment we've had, we've actually seen low demand for housing, which has actually meant that housing prices have gone up less than people's incomes. Homes have become a little bit more affordable. We're going to face new challenges, and what this means for us is that it is all the more urgent that we actually figure out in America policies to make it easier to build new housing. We're also focused on what this means for migration patterns within our country, because we've seen a slowdown in migration over the last couple of years. This reflects what we typically think of as the mortgage lock-in effect, that people who have a low mortgage interest rate that they entered into some time ago have been hesitant to take on a new mortgage at a higher interest rate. Lower rates mean they're actually likely to pick up their rate of home moves, and that's likely to increase the demand for housing, in particular in places that have been major destinations for migration, places like Texas and elsewhere in the Sun Belt. And those places, therefore, will have particularly strong need to increase housing supply. To learn more, please look at our report, Build Homes, Expand Opportunity, on the Bush Institute website. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or comments on our work.